Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to make the matching skirt to our previous top. So if you haven't yet watched our previous floralist bundle top, make sure after this video you go check it out. And today we're going to learn how to make the matching skirt. It also has a floralist design at the base of the skirt, and I'm very sure the matching set will look perfectly fine when paired up together. So for the materials, we are using this yarn. It's a 4-ply DK weight yarn, so any DK weight can work, size 3 yarn, and then a measuring tape to take your measurements. The measurements that we shall be considering for this tutorial are the waistline as well as the hip circumference, and you also need a darning needle to weave in your ends, and a pair of scissors, and the hook that I'm using is a 4mm crochet hook, as well as 2 stitch markers. So that's all that you need. The yarn that I'm using, I used about 3 to 4 balls, so just to be on a safe side, have around 600 yards of yarn for the full project. So let's get started. We're going to start off with our waistline. That is the waistband of the skirt, and then we shall build onto that to make this beautiful skirt. So let's begin. You're going to grab your 4mm crochet hook and your yarn, and you're going to start off with a slip knot. So after this, you're going to make a chain of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And this is going to be the thickness of the waistband of the skirt. You're going to go into the second chain from the hook. So not this one, the second chain from the hook. And you're going to insert your hook, pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook, and yarn over, pull through all. That's a single crochet in the US terms. So go into the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all. So we are going to continue to single crochet in each and every chain all the way across our starting chain. Alright, so we are coming to the end of the chain, and we have 1 more chain left. You'll go into it with a single crochet just like the previous chains, and you'll have something that looks like this. After this, you're going to make a chain of 1. This will be a row 2 of the waistband, and you're going to go into the back loop of the single crochet. So you go into that back loop of the stitch and then place a single crochet. So from now on, we're just going to go into each and every stitch into the back loop, and we're going to place 1 single crochet back loop only into each and every stitch. So this is going to help us create that ribbing effect, as you'll see later on as we continue working the waistband. Alright, so we've come to the end, and I'm placing 1 single crochet back loop only into the very last stitch. You should be having a total of 9 stitches, by the way, if you started with a chain of 10, because one of the chains was a turning chain. So we're going on to row 3 of the waistband. You're going to make a chain of 1, turn your work, and you're going to continue to place 1 single crochet back loop only into each and every stitch across. So the number of stitches that you make for each and every row of the waistband should be the same. So if you had 9 stitches for your row 1, maintain that number until you come to the end of the waistband. The number of stitches for each and every row shouldn't change, it should remain constant. And then make a chain of 1 and turn your work. Single crochet back loop only into each and every stitch. So that's what we are going to keep repeating until this waistband, until the waistband can stretch to our waistline circumference. So my intended waistline circumference is 28 inches, and I'm going to keep working until this grows to 28 inches when slightly stretched. Alright, this is what I was talking about. As you continue working in the back loop only stitch, you're going to create that ribbed effect of the waistband. So you're going to keep working and growing your waistband until it can slightly stretch to your waistline circumference. And the waistline circumference we are considering is the upper waistline, because that's where we want our skirt to sit. So we kept repeating row 2 until we had our waistline measurement, which is a total of 28 inches without stretching the panel. And as you can see here, we have a total of 28 inches. But if we stretch, it goes even up to like 35 to 40 inches. But we have a total of 28 inches right now. Once you get that measurement, we're going to join our panel into a round before we start working the body of the skirt. All right, so we're going to join into a round. So you're going to make a chain of 1 and turn your work and go into the back loops and into the foundation chain of our starting chain and place a slip stitch. So back loop and then the foundation chain, slip stitch. So keep doing this all the way across. Alright, so I'm joining my very last stitch with a slip stitch, and now we have a round for our waistband of the skirt. So you're going to turn your work onto the right side. This is the wrong side where you've worked the slip stitch. So you're going to turn your work onto the right side, and then you're going to make a chain of 1 and half double crochet into each and every row of the waistband. So a half double crochet is yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all. So continue to half double crochet into each and every row of the waistband until you come back to the beginning of the round. Alright, so we're coming to the end of round 1 of half double crochet stitches. And after placing your last half double crochet into the last row of the waistband, you're going to go into the very first half double crochet on top of it and place a slip stitch. So insert your hook and pull through all. So you're going to place your work like this so that the exact middle is at the back of your panel. So this is what you're going to have. If we fold it over, this seam line is the exact middle back of the skirt. Now you're going to get 2 stitch markers. Get your 2 stitch markers and mark the sides of the skirt into that stitch and the stitch on the opposite side. So these stitches are going to get the increases that are going to make the skirt fit around the hips. So for the next round, which is round 2 of the half double crochet stitches, you're going to make a chain of 1 and turn your work. You're going to half double crochet into each and every stitch until you get to your very first half double crochet stitch. So place 1 half double crochet into each and every stitch until you get to your first stitch marker that you just placed. Alright, so I'm placing a half double crochet into the stitch before the stitch marker. You're going to remove your stitch marker and place 2 half double crochets in that stitch that had the stitch marker. Now you're going to go ahead and mark the second one, the last one you just placed. Just put the stitch marker back and then half double crochet in each of the next stitches until you get to your second stitch marker, which is this one. Alright, so we've reached our second stitch marker. You're going to remove it, and into that stitch you're going to place 2 half double crochets and mark the second one, or the very last half double crochet you just placed, and then half double crochet in each and every stitch until the end of the round. Alright, so when you come to the end of the round, you're going to make 1 slip stitch into the very first half double crochet of the round. Just go on top of it and place a slip stitch. We're going on to round 3 of the half double crochets, and this one is going to be a non-increase round. The one that we just placed is an increase round. The next one will be a non-increase round. So chain 1, turn your work so that you're working in the opposite direction of the previous round, and then half double crochet in each and every stitch until you get to your very first stitch marker. Alright, so we've reached our first stitch marker, and since this is a non-increase round, you're going to remove the stitch marker from the stitch and place only 1 half double crochet into that stitch and replace your stitch marker there into that stitch, and then half double crochet in each of the next stitches until you get to your second stitch marker. So just like we've done here, when you get here you just remove your stitch marker and half double crochet once in that stitch and replace the stitch marker into the new stitch, and then half double crochet all the way to the end of the round, and I'll meet you back at the end of the round here. Alright guys, we've come to the end of the round, and since this was a non-increase round, we haven't done any increases. So you're going to go into the very first half double crochet with 1 slip stitch into it, and then we're going to go onto our next round, and this round is going to be a round of increases, and it's going to resemble round 2 because round 2 had increases on the sides. So you're going to keep alternating between round 2 and round 3, the round of increases and the round of no increases, again and again until this length here can stretch to half of your hip measurement. So far we have a total of 17 inches, and our intended hip circumference is 40 inches. So I'm going to keep alternating between the increase round and the non-increase round until this can stretch to half of my intended hip circumference. So just to be clear, you chain 1 and turn your work so that you're working in the opposite direction of the previous round, and you're going to half double crochet until you get to your very first stitch marker. Once you get there, you place two half double crochet stitches into the stitch with the stitch marker and mark the second half double crochet stitch and go all the way across. Do the same here and wind up your round, and then for the next round you will just place 1 half double crochet in the stitches with the stitch markers, and then replace the stitch marker into the new round or the new stitch you just placed, and then keep alternating between the two rounds until we get that measurement that we intend to get. Okay, so I ended up alternating between the increase round and the plain round until the base of my skirt measured half of the hip circumference that I intend to make for. As you can see here, we have 20 inches. So from here we are going to remove our stitch markers and keep working until we get the length of the skirt that we want before we start on the bottom design. So just remove the stitch marker and start working plain rounds of no increases at all until you get the length of the skirt you want. I'll meet you back when I I have my desired length, and I'll let you know how many inches that I ended up doing before we start working on the bottomless design. Alright guys, we ended up doing a total of 33 rows of half double crochet stitches, and the total length of our skirt currently is roughly 14 inches, as you can see here. So 14 inches, and then we're going to start on the bottom design of the skirt. Now we're going to work the floralist design at the base of the skirt, and I will be recommending a number of flowers to make for the different sizes. Now if you're size small, extra small, small, medium, I would recommend a total of 6 flowers around, and in around a total of 6 flowers. I'll explain what that means. If you're a large, extra large, then around 7 flowers around. Then if you're 2XL and onwards, I would recommend 8 flowers. So for me, I'm going to do 6 flowers for my size medium. And for the lower part, the flower starts off with a magic ring. So wrap your yarn around your 2 fingers like this, and then pull up a loop like that, and then you're going to make a chain of 1 to close off the magic ring. From here you're going to make a single crochet, and then you're going to make a chain of 21. And then you're going to come back into the magic ring and place 1 single crochet. That's our very first loop. And then chain 21. And then single crochet into the magic loop or the magic ring. So we want a total of 8 loops into the magic ring. So we have this one and this one. So I'm going to continue chain 21. And then single crochet into the magic ring. Chain 21. Single crochet into the magic ring. So keep doing this until you have a total of 8 loops around the magic ring. So far we have a total of 4. That means we still have 4 more left. All right, so we have a total of we have a total of 8 loops right now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And instead of placing a single crochet after your 8th loop, you're going to go into the very first single crochet of the first loop, and you're going to make a slip stitch into that very first single crochet. So insert your hook and pull through all, and then you can get the tail of the magic ring and close it up. And then from here you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. Pull through, turn your work to the back side, and you're going to tie these 2 strands together. Get rid of them early enough, otherwise the loose ends are going to be quite many at the end of the project. So you can weave in at least these ones when it's still early enough. Alright, so we have a little flower here. So we're going on to round 2 of the flower. You're going to grab your yarn and make a slip knot and go into any loop. So I'll choose this one. Attach your yarn and single crochet into the same exact loop. After your single crochet, you're going to make a chain of 9 and single crochet into after your chain of 9, you're going to double crochet into the next loop, make 1 double crochet, chain 11, and then double crochet into the same exact loop. Then from here you're going to make a chain of 9, single crochet into the next loop, chain 9, double crochet into the next loop, chain 11, double crochet into the same exact loop. So that chain 11 is going to create the corners. The chain 11, this motif is going to be as if square. It's going to be in a square form. So from here you're going to make a chain of 9 and single crochet into the next loop, chain 9, and it's time to create our next corner. So 1 double crochet, chain 11, and then double crochet into the same exact loop. Then from here you're going to make a chain of 9, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and then go into the next loop with 1 single crochet. So you can see what we have right now. Chain 9, and then into the next loop you're going to place 1 double crochet, chain 11, and 1 more double crochet into the same exact loop. Okay, so this is what we have, and you can see we have a total of 1, 2, 3 and 4 corners. So from here you're going to make a chain of 9 and you're going to slip stitch into the very first single crochet of the round before the chain 9 space. So slip stitch there and make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn, pull through and turn your work to the back, and you can tie the 2 loose ends together in a tight knot and cut off your excess yarn. All right, so see what we have right now. This is what your motif should look like. This is our primary motif. This is where everything builds up from. We're going to continue to work this same exact motif, but this time joining onto what we already have. So go ahead and make this same exact round 1 of the chain 21 loops. Start with a magic ring and create your loops of chain 21 around, a total of 8 of them, and then get done with the very first round. And then for the second round we shall be working it while joining onto what we already have here. Okay guys, we are through with our very first round and we've gone back to the flower shape. And now we are now going to join this flower to this flower while working the second round of this flower. We're going to join it onto what we already have. So what we are going to do is work a shape of several flowers. As I had mentioned earlier on, the number of flowers from small, extra small, medium, you'll do a total of 6 flowers. Then large, extra large, 7 flowers. 2XL onwards, I would recommend 8 flowers. So this is what I was talking about. So you're going to get your yarn and attach it in any loop. Now we're going to start our next round. So into any loop of the new flower and then single crochet. And then from here you're going to make a chain of 9. And then double crochet into the next loop. Make your double crochet. And then since I told you that the chain 11 spaces are the ones that create the corners, we are going to start joining. Because after the double crochet here, we should be creating a chain of 11. But instead of 11, I'm going to make a chain of 6. And then I attach into the chain 11 loop. Just pull the loop through like that and then chain 5 more. That would make a total of 11 chains, and then you're going to go into the same exact loop with a double crochet, sorry. So what we've done here, we've done the same exact process as what we did on the first flower, but this time it's attached onto what we already have. So after your double crochet, you're going to make a chain. The next should be a chain of 9, but we are going to make a chain of 5. So after a chain of 5, you go into the chain 9 loop, pull through like this, and then chain 4 more. So 5 and 4 make a total of 9, but this time it's attached onto the old flower. After this, you're going to go into the next loop of the new flower and place a single crochet, just like that. And then you're going to make a chain of 5, attach into the chain 9 loop of the old flower, and then make a chain of 4 to make a total of 9 chains. Then from here you're going to go into the next loop of the new flower and place a double crochet. So after your double crochet here, you're going to make a chain of 6 and then attach into the chain 11 loop, pull through, and then chain 5 more to make a total of 11 chains. And then you're going to go into the same exact loop and place your double crochet. So once you get the basics of the very first flower, this should be a walkover for you because we are doing the same exact thing. The difference is we are attaching onto what we already have, and you can see how the joining looks like. So from here we're just going to go ahead and finish up our round. So let's see how to do that. Chain 9 and single crochet into the next loop, chain 9, double crochet into the next loop, and the loop that gets a double crochet, you make a chain of 11 and double crochet into the same exact loop to create a corner. So since this time the loops left are not joining onto anything, we just do the same exact process as what we did for the very first motif. So we are done with this corner. We're going to make a chain of 9 and single crochet into the next loop, chain 9. Into the next loop you're going to place 1 double crochet, chain 11, and 1 more double crochet into the same exact loop. And then from here you're going to make a chain of 9, and you're going to slip stitch into the very first single crochet of the round. Then from here you're going to make a chain of 1, cut your yarn, pull through, turn your work, and tie the 2 loose ends into a tight knot. So that's what we are going to do for our second motif. Let's see how beautifully it has attached onto what we already had. So this is what everything looks like. If you need me to zoom out a bit so that you get the clearer picture, this is exactly what we have. The chain 11 spaces create the corners of the motifs. So we're going to go ahead and keep building onto the side, just like we've done the second motif onto the first one. That means the third one is going to come here and it's going to join along this edge, and then we get the 4th, the 5th, and you're going to do a total of 5 flowers for size extra small, small, medium, 6 flowers for large, extra large, 2XL, plus you're going to do a total of 7 flowers, so that the final flower is worked with me. So just do 1 flower less the ones that I had mentioned earlier on. So if you're to do 6 flowers, make a total of 5 flowers, so that the last flower we work it together, because it may confuse some of you guys. So if you already know how to go about these motifs, joining and all, then you can go ahead and make the total number of flowers that I had mentioned earlier on. But I will be doing a total of 5 flowers, and then for the 6th I will be joining it with you guys. So continue to work, and then I'll be back to show you the final flower of the round. Alright, so you're going to keep working, and for the final motif you're going to join this side as well as this side. So when you come to the very last side, or the second last chain 11 space, because this is supposed to be a chain of 11, you will place your double crochet, and then you're going to make a chain of 6, just like we've been doing when joining onto the next motif. And then you're going to bring your work around just like this, and then you're going to attach into the chain of 11 on this side, and then chain 5, and then double crochet into the same exact space, just like that. And then you're going to make a chain of 5, attach into the next chain 9 space, chain 4 to make a total of 9, and then single crochet into the next loop, chain 5, attach into the next loop, the chain 9 loop on this side, chain 4, and then into the next loop you're going to place 1 double crochet, chain 6, attach into the next chain 11 loop, chain 5, 1 double crochet into the same exact loop, and then from here you're going to make a chain of 9, and slip stitch into the very first single crochet of the round. From here you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn, pull through. So what we have right now is a round of motifs. Now I'm going to demonstrate 2 more motifs, and then I'll leave you guys to keep building until the length that you want for your motifs. Okay, so I'm at the 3rd corner of my next motif. You can see there's a corner here, a corner here. So I'm at the 3rd corner, so I'll make a chain of 6. And I'll attach in any corner here. This is a chain of 11 and a chain of 11. So where they meet, I will attach in that corner there and make my chain of 5 and double crochet into the same exact loop, just like that. So from here I'll make my chain of 5 and then attach into the next chain 7. Sorry, this is a chain 9. So chain 5, attach into the chain 9, and then chain 4 more to make a total of 9, and single crochet into the next loop. So we are on the 2nd layer. As you can see here, we are attaching our 2nd layer of motifs. Then from your single crochet, you're going to make a chain of 5, attach into the next chain 9 loop, sorry, chain 4 more, and then double crochet into the next loop, chain 6, and attach where the 2 chain 11 loops meet. So attach here, pull through, chain 5 more to make a total of 11, and then slip stitch into the very first single crochet of the round. Chain 1 and cut your yarn. So let's see what we have. So this is what the 2nd layer will look like. Now I'm going to demonstrate the next motif because it's supposed to join onto this side and this side, onto 2 sides of what's already available. So we are basically placing 1 motif under what we already have. So we have this one and we have this one. So we're going to go ahead and place 1 under this one as well, but this time it's going to join onto this side and this side as well. Alright, so for this next motif, you're going to make a slip knot and attach into any loop and single crochet into the same space. Now we're going to make a chain of 9 and double crochet into the next loop, chain 6, and we're going to start attaching onto what we already have. So into this corner where the 2 chain 11 loops meet, we're going to attach and chain 5 more to make a total of 11, and then double crochet into the same exact loop. And then from here you're going to make a chain of 5, attach into the next chain 9 loop, chain 4 and single crochet into the next loop, chain 5, attach into the next chain 9 loop, chain 4, double crochet into the next loop, chain 6, and attach where the chain 11 loops meet. So this time there are 3. Just find a middle spot where to attach your next loop, just like that. So insert your hook and attach your chain of 6, chain 5 more, sorry, to make a total of 11, and then double crochet into the same exact loop, just like that. Then from here you're going to make a chain of 5, and we're now going to join onto this side. Chain 4 more and single crochet into the next loop. Chain 5, attach your yarn into the next chain 9 loop, chain 4 more and double crochet into the next loop. Chain 6, attach into the next chain 11 loop, which is the corner, chain 5 more, double crochet into the same exact loop, and then chain 9, because now we're not joining onto anything. Then single crochet into the next loop, chain 9, single crochet, double crochet into the next loop, chain 11, double crochet into the same loop, chain 9, and slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round. Chain 1 and cut your yarn. So far we have 2 motifs for our second layer, as you can see here. We're going to go all the way around, placing 1 motif below the one from the previous round, and I'll meet you back towards the end when I'm attaching my very last motif. So we've made it all the way around and we only have 1 motif to fit into this space. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to attach this last motif, because it's going to attach onto 3 sides. So you're going to attach your yarn. After making your first round, you're going to attach your yarn in any loop, single crochet, chain 6, and attach into the chain 11 loop on this side. Chain 5, you're going to single crochet here, and then you're going to make a chain of 9, and then you're going to double crochet into the next loop, chain 6, and attach into the chain 11 loop on this side, chain 5 more to make a total of 11, and then double crochet into the same exact loop. Then from here you're going to make a chain of 5 and attach into the chain 9 loop, and then chain 4 more to make a total of 9 chains, and then single crochet into the next loop, chain 5, attach into the next chain 9 loop, chain 4, and then double crochet into the next loop, chain 6, and attach into the middle section where the chain 11 loops meet. Insert your hook there in the center and attach, and then you're going to make a chain of 5 to make a total of 11, and then double crochet into the same exact loop. That means we are done with one side of the joining. Now we're going onto this side of this motif. So let's go ahead, chain 5, attach into the chain 9 loop, chain 4 more, and then single crochet into the next loop, chain 5, attach into the chain 9 loop, chain 4 more, and double crochet into the next loop, chain 6, attach in the middle space where the chain 11 loops meet. So find the middle spot and attach, chain 5 more, and then you're going to make 1 double crochet into the same exact loop. So we are through with our second side of the motif. So we've joined here and here. And then from here, we're now going to join onto this side of the last motif of this round. So you're going to make a chain of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, attach into the next chain 9 loop, chain 4 more, and single crochet into the next motif, the next loop, sorry, just like this, chain 5, attach into the next chain 9 loop, chain 4 more, and then double crochet into the next loop. So 1 double crochet, chain 6, attach into the next chain 11 loop in the corner, and then make a chain of 5, double crochet into the same exact loop, and then you're going to make a chain of 9 and slip stitch into the very first single crochet of the round, chain 1 and cut your yarn. So we are done with the second round of motifs, and this is what you should have. So let me zoom out a bit so that you can see what I have. This is what you should have. So we have a total of 6 motifs in each and every round, and you can see 1 motif and then 1 under it. So what we've just done for round 2 of the motifs, we are going to keep working in rounds and creating more and more motifs downwards until we get the length, our desired length for the lace pattern, and then I'll meet you back to show you how to attach everything onto the original block skirt. Guys, I ended up doing a total of 5 layers of the floral motif. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and that was just enough for the length that I needed. But if you're taller, you can consider 6 layers of the floral motifs downwards. So we are counting in rounds. We have round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4 and round 5. So I have 5 layers for my floral motif. And then from here, we're going to start attaching this floraless pattern onto what we already have. So our skirt is here. We're going to start attaching what we have here to this, but we have to make some calculations in order to make sure this can comfortably fit onto what we have here. So let's get started. You're going to grab your stitch marker. Okay, so we're going to mark, we're going to get the lacy pattern, and we're going to mark one of the joining points at the chain 11 space. Just mark it with a stitch marker. So from here, where the 2 chain 11 loops meet, you're going to count this one as 1, and then 2, the chain 9 loop, 2, 3, another chain 9 loop, and then at the chain 11 joining, that is the 4th. So we are counting from here: 1, 2, 3, 4, and continue to count: 5, 6, the joining 7, 8, 9, the joining is 10, 11, 12, and then the joining is 13, 14, 15, and the joining is 16, 17, 18. So we have a total of 18 points where we intend to join our skirt. So we've counted the chain 9 loops as well as the joining points at the chain 11 loops, and we have a total of 18 points on our skirt. So you're going to get your skirt and you're going to count the number of stitches that you have around the very last round of the skirt, and mine is 120. So for the floralless design, we have a total of 18 points that we intend to join on the lace design. And then on our skirt, we have 120 stitches. You're going to note down those the stitches that you have on your skirt, and then the points that you intend to attach onto the skirt. Now we are going to go onto our skirt, and you're going to get the number of stitches that you have on the very last round. You're going to get this number of stitches that you have on your skirt, 120, divided by the 18 points that you've gotten on the floralless design, and then you're going to have a total of 6.6. I'll roughly estimate at 6. So we have 6.6. I'll just consider this number here. So we're going to go ahead and create loops on our skirt, and our intention is to get a total of 18 loops at the base of our skirt. The 18 here, the 18 that we counted on the floralless design. So find a way of creating a total of 18 loops, or whatever number that you get here after counting on the floralless design. So when you go to the base of the skirt, you're going to make a chain of 1 and single crochet into the same stitch, and make sure you're creating loops that are the same number as the points that you got on the floralless design. So for me, I have a total of 18 points, and you're going to make a chain of 11, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And you're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and into the 7th you're going to place a single crochet. So I'm going to alternate between skipping 6 stitches and 5 stitches. Just do whatever it takes for you to have the same number of loops as you have for the points of the floralless design. So for me, this number is going to be very helpful. At some point I will skip 6 stitches, and at some point I will skip 5 stitches, so that I have a total of 18 loops around my skirt. So chain 11, and then since I skipped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches before, and then this time I'm going to skip 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then into the 6th. So I'm going to keep alternating between skipping 6 stitches and 5 stitches, and I see what I get. But my intention is to have a total of 18 loops around my skirt. Chain 11, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and into the 7th I'll place a single crochet. Chain 11, skip 5 stitches, 1 2 3 4 5, and into the next stitch I'll place a single crochet. So I'm going to go all the way around and I see how many loops I'll get. Alright, so I've gone all the way around and my intention is to have a total of 18 loops. So do whatever it takes for you to have the same exact number of loops as the points that you got for the floralist design. So for me, I have a total of 17 loops and I have a total of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 stitches left, and I'll just make a chain of 11 and slip stitch into the very first single crochet of the round. So it doesn't matter, just do whatever it takes. You may not be as accurate, but just make sure you have the same exact number of loops. So let's cross check. We have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 and 18. So once I have my desired number of loops, we are now going to slip stitch 6 times into the next chain 11 loop. So that's 3 4 5 and 6, and the reason why we've done that is to come to the exact middle of the very first loop, and then you'll make a chain of 1 and single crochet into the same exact loop. So you're going to introduce your floralist design, and we're going to start attaching what we already have onto the block skirt. So to do that, you're going to make a chain of 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and attach into those points that we counted on the floralist design. So make sure your piece is on the right side, and then we are going to start attaching into the very first chain 9 loop. So just get one of the chain 9 loops that we counted that are supposed to be attached. So you attach and then make a chain of 5. So that's a total of 11 chains, and then you go into the next chain 11 loop with a single crochet, just like that. And then chain 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then go into the next chain 9 loop, attach, chain 5 more, and single crochet into the next chain 11 loop. So this is what we are going to have. So chain 6 and attach into the point where the 2 chain 11 loops meet. Just find a point there, attach, and then chain 5 more and single crochet into the next chain 11 loop on the skirt. Chain 6, go into the next chain 9 loop, attach, and chain 5 more and single crochet into the next chain 11 loop. And you're going to keep doing this until you make it all the way around the floralist design. Chain 6, attach into the next chain 9 loop, chain 5 more and single crochet into the chain 11 loop, the next chain 11 loop on the skirt. So look what we have. This is exactly what we are trying to create. So go all the way around. Alright, so we've made it all the way around, and I'm placing my very last loop. You're going to make a chain of 6, just like we've been doing before, and then you go into the very last point. For me, that is the chain 11 loop joining, and then I'll attach there into the middle point, and then make a chain of 5 and slip stitch into the very first single crochet of the round on the skirt, the very first single crochet that we did after the slip stitches. So you're going to place a slip stitch there, and then make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. So let's see what we have right now. You see the use of considering that the 18 points to create the loops on the skirt. That has created a very perfect placement for the lacy design at the base of the skirt. So this is what your lacy pattern will look like at the base of the skirt. You're going to get your darning needle and weave in this tail. And this is what the lacy design will look like at the base of the skirt. Guys, when you're through with attaching your lacy design onto the block part of the skirt, this is what you'll have. The lacy part will look a little bit thinner, but when worn, everything will work out perfectly well. So this is what the skirt looks like at the moment, and when we dress it up, this is the difference between when it's laying flat and when it's on the body. Right, and another thing that I should mention is if you feel like this is still very big for you, you can opt for either an elastic strand into the top of the waistline of the skirt, or you can also do a drawstring so that this can hold tightly around your waistline so that you don't have a sagging fitting. So this is what everything looks like, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, guys. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you did, and leave a comment down below to just let me know your opinion on this one. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more amazing content, and I'll see you in my next video. So stay tuned for that, and I'll surprise you in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.